Hey, Athletic After 40. So, hey, coming at you today again from the park bench, which is my favorite place to do videos because it's just a beautiful scene. And hey, I'm out here and I'm thinking about you, and I want to bring you some insight into how you can get yourself into a better position physically, not just physically, but physically, mentally, healthfully, right? All of these things, they all kind of wrap around this whole concept of athletic after 40. And I always say, like, athletic after 40, it's a lifestyle. And I know it sounds so cliche, right? Because, fitness, nutrition, it's a lifestyle. Yes, I mean, it really is, but it's 100% true, right? It's 100% true. Like, we have to incorporate some things into our life in order to be the best that we can possibly be. And a lot of times we chase down these things like in our career, sometimes in our relationships, in all these areas of our life. But a lot of times we let ourselves personally, physically, mentally, we let ourselves go. We put ourselves on the back burner, especially if we're very caring people. We put ourselves on the back burner to take care of other things before we take care of ourselves. So the Athletic After 40 idea is that, look, we need to shift our priorities a little bit. We need to prioritize ourselves, but not to be selfish. Instead, to be able to shine our light a little bit brighter to the others around us, especially to the ones we love, our family, our friends, our inner circle, right? We want to bring that light. And then ultimately, I believe that shines on other people as well outside of your inner circle, right? It makes the world a better place. Wouldn't you agree? Like, don't you want to shine your light bright? Because if you're shining your light bright, especially in these times when I'm walking around and I see everybody with fear and uncertainty in their face because of all of the things that are happening right now, we need light more than ever. We need light more than ever. So shine your light as bright as you can. So what I want to talk about today, and that's not, again, here I go off tangent, which is what I always do in these videos. But one of the things I always like to talk about is some of the mindset around this, right? And the mindset of, one of the biggest things I think that we need to understand when we're chasing down some of these things like better health, better performance, looking better, feeling better, right? These are the things that we want in our lives. We want them for long game, is we have to put our long game lenses on. We need the 2 P's, patience. We have to be patient, and persistence. We have to be persistent, right? And we can't just have one or the other. We need both of them in order to really find success. Just like in anything, right? You have to be patient. You have to be persistent. You have to know what you want. You have to have good intentions, right? So I don't want to spend this video talking about those things. I always like to touch on them because they're just so important. But what I really want to talk about is how do you, so I have this program, right? And look, in case you don't know me, I've been doing this for 20 years. Like, I've been in the trenches coaching for 20 years, everybody from elite level athletes to just like, just to the guy off the street who just wants to get themselves in a better place. And, the truth of the matter is I just love success. I love health, human performance. I've had my own transformation in my life many years ago. And, I just love helping others. And I think any coach that you're going to find, any health practitioner for that matter, it's very hard to find somebody who's not passionate about what they do. It's like, it's super, super important. And I think that's something to really understand when you're seeking out help in some of these areas. There's a lot of really well-intentioned coaches out there who really want their clients to be successful. Any coach worth their salt, they're in this for the right reasons, And, one of the things, and again, I'm getting off tangent here, but I just recently heard, like, I have a friend who's a chiropractor who I go see, and, he takes care of me, and anyways, so I had mentioned that to someone, to an acquaintance of mine, and they said, "Oh, chiropractor, they're like, do you really believe in that? Like, it's a bunch of bull crap. Like, those guys are just taking your money." And I was like, wow, like, really? Like, is that your, it's fine if you don't agree with the, the process or whatever, but to just to lump them into a category of just wanting to take your money is pretty, in my opinion, is like, it's a pretty kind of, it's a bad way to look at someone, right? Like, I tell you, I've known so many chiropractors over the years. I always sort of jokingly say I have an affinity for chiropractors. And I think part of it is just because they have this passion. They just love helping others, and they got into the industry for the right reasons, which a lot of healthcare practitioners do. You want to find someone with a big heart and who wants the world to be a better place and wants to take care of others. Go find a chiropractor or a massage therapist or a fitness trainer or a nutritionist or a nurse or a doctor, or pick it. Right? These are some of the most passionate people in the world. And when you can, so anyways, that's sort of leading me into where I want to go with this whole thing, because there are all of these really passionate people out there who just love what they do and want people to have success, right? So then what is the next step? Like, what is the next level? Because it's very easy. Like, if you're looking for a solution, if you're looking for some help and you're listening to me right now, that's probably the case. You're probably a guy that's got some extra body fat, that's just not feeling as good about themselves as they should. Maybe your health has declined a little bit and you're like, look, man, I got to get this taken care of. I was just talking to a gentleman yesterday. He's like, look, I was in great shape and, I kind of let myself slide. And now I'm looking in the mirror and I'm going, look, it needs to change right now. And now we're working together. So, how do you find the person that you want to bring into your life to help you? If you're already of the mindset, like, I'm going to find the help, because I would argue that the who is really, really important, right? You want to make sure that you get the right person. And one of the most important things that you need to look for is, number one, communication. You have to be able to communicate with the person, right? Not everybody is very good with communication. So I think if you can find a coach who's passionate, but, and wants you to win, but also has good communication skills, I think that's very, very important. And the other thing is, like, the program, right? Like, that's the nuts and bolts, because there has to be nuts and bolts, right? There has to be an actual, like strategy. There has to be like, if I'm going to work with a coach, what am I going to do? Like, that's a really important question, right? So even if you've got passion and you've got, as a coach, if you've got passion and if you've got, you want your clients to win and you're selfless in helping others and you've got good communication skills, what is the other thing? Like, you have to have a program, right? And when it comes to programs, the deal with the nutrition, fitness industry is the solutions tend to be, unless they're super, super gimmicky, like take this magic pill, but generally the solutions tend to be very, very complex. And what do I mean? So if I were to ask 100 people just on the street, what is it that we need to do what is it that you need to do in order to lose weight? Like, if you were to, if you wanted to drop 20 pounds of body fat tomorrow, what would you have to do? And I guarantee you it would be like, calories, carbohydrates, proteins, fats. These are the words that I would hear. And in fact, I hear a lot of these things, even when I ask somebody, like, what did you have for breakfast? They'll be like, well, I had, generally my calories are very low. I only have this many calories and I try to eat protein at every breakfast, but they never tell me like what it is they actually eat. So we've kind of lost our way. We've made this so complex that we don't even see food for what it is anymore. Now we're just looking at it as calories, carbohydrates, proteins, fats, macros and calories. Like, and then, even the people that have lost a bunch of weight doing those kinds of programs where you're just like looking at food labels every day and you're tracking the math on everything and you're trying to figure out your basal metabolic rate and then, how much calories you burn in your exercise, and you're looking at your Apple Watch and, you're just like, dude, seriously? Like, this is a mess. But this is what everybody in the space is being taught. When you go to university, when you go to college, this is what you're being taught. When you go on Google and you type in lose weight, you're going to find everybody's talking about macros and calories. Like, that's just been the norm. It's the paradigm. And we need, after 20 years in this space, like in the trenches deep, we need to change the paradigm, because those models, even though they may be effective, are not effective for the long term. And if we want to change our life for the long term, which if you're here, that's the mindset you need to have, because I'm not the quick fix guy. You have to start thinking in a different way. We need to change the paradigm, because I don't know anybody, and I've known, again, so many people, but nobody's tracked their calories for more than a couple of years. It's just, nobody does it. It's just too difficult. It's too complicated. It makes nutrition very, very difficult, right? To try to figure out all of these numbers. And it's just too overwhelming. So we have to change the paradigm. And the good news is like, I've been able to figure this out. And I was talking to a client the other day, and he was asking me like, where did you, is this something that you is this something, your methodologies are so simple, and it's almost silly how simple it is. And I would agree. Like, and I said, no, like it's not anything groundbreaking, right? But it's almost so, it's so intuitive that it's simple. It's so intuitive. Like I think we all kind of know it. Like we all kind of get it already. And every time I ask somebody, like, do you think this would work? They're like, yeah, of course. And so I think deep down we know in our brains. So like, I don't want to come off as like I created this incredible solution that nobody's ever thought of. But the interesting thing is I was practicing it, as I've been practicing this, and I've been helping others with this over the course of the last 10 years. It works 100% of the time. It's very simple. It's easy to sustain. And I told this guy, who asked me if this is something I came up with, I'm like, in the beginning, and even now, I'm kind of like, why is nobody else doing this? Why is nobody else embracing this idea? Because it's so, pardon the French, it's so fucking effective, and it's so much easier to sustain over a lifetime. And like, I'm 15, 16 years in, that I almost, in the beginning, I almost felt like, am I missing something? Am I doing something wrong? Like how are we following this methodology? It's very simple, easy to follow, and very effective. How is that nobody else is catching on to this? Because I know there's a lot of really smart people out there. I'm just your average guy, right? I've got a lot of experience in the health, fitness, nutrition industry, but I'm no freaking genius. Like, I'm just not. But it just baffles me how complicated people want to make this whole thing. And it doesn't need to be complicated. You need to make it simple. But with simplicity, we also need some level of effectiveness, because you can make it too simple, right? I could just say, like, look, I just want you to eat a piece of fruit every day. That's super simple, but and maybe even effective, but it's just not going to last, right? So it has to be simple, but it also has to be effective, and it also has to be safe, right? Like, those are the three things that we need to consider when we're bringing in any sort of program in our life that has to do with looking better, feeling better, and performing better, right? So anyways, that's, as far as nutrition goes, let's keep it simple. And I swear to God, it's like, I feel like it's the secret, like, keep it simple, and like, I've got the solution. And I'll let the cat out of the bag, because it's not anything that's really, groundbreaking. Meat, veggie, nuts, seeds, and fruit, eat some real food. And there are some other things involved with that, but like, that's the foundation. That's it's the basic components and structure of this whole thing. And then as far as fitness goes, same thing. Like, fitness is a mess. Like, if you go to the gym, you're going to spend, and you want to do strength training and cardio, you're going to spend an hour doing different muscle groups in the body. There's a bazillion different exercise programs out there. There's a million different ways to skin this cat, but how can we make it as simple as possible? And again, like, it's something that I've found we can develop a whole lot of strength, and we can develop some conditioning in a very short period of time without spending a whole bunch of time in the gym. So if like efficiency is important to you, or you don't like being the gym rat, which I get, because the majority of folks on this planet don't want to spend hours exercising or hours in the gym. You need to be active in your life. Like, that's really, really important. But as far as formal exercise goes, it's important, but we want most bang for your buck stuff. And look, after 20 years of being in the trenches, I've done bodybuilding, I've done CrossFit, I've done weightlifting, like, I've done all of the things, and I've been able to distill this down into the most effective things that are going to give you the most bang for your buck in the shortest amount of time. So anyways, I'm kind of like, that's what I wanted to deliver to you today. So when you're looking for someone to work with, when you're looking for a coach, make sure that there's someone who can communicate. Make sure that there's someone who's got some experience. Make sure that there's someone who really cares about you and is not just in it for the money, right? Make sure that it's someone who has a methodology that's going to make sense to you. Okay, if you like counting calories and doing complex bodybuilding routines, mad love to you. Like, that's cool. Like, there are lots of people that enjoy that. I would argue nobody really enjoys counting calories. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but I haven't found anybody that likes doing that, or macros. Like, it's just messy, right? It's messy. And even the people that think it's an exact science, here you go. It's not. It's not an exact science, okay? Even though you feel like you're dialing things in, no, the human body it just doesn't make it that simple. So anyways, but yeah, look, if you'd like to learn more, I do have a free training. What I'll do is I'll link the free training below. so that you can get access to that and you can watch that. I dive much deeper into some of this stuff so you can get the tactics and strategies. And look, if you'd like to take it to the next step where maybe you want to work together, I'd be happy to do that, and that would be in the training. So you can watch the training. You'll find the link to be able to schedule a time with me to chat on the phone to see if or how I can best help you out. And if I can, I'll tell you exactly how I can do so. And maybe you can join me and in the Athletic After 40 army to get yourself moving forward and to build the habits into your life that you're going to need, that are going to serve you well, literally forever. All right, it's my mission. We're going to change the world one human at a time. And I serve guys over the age of 40. Why guys over the age of 40? Because I'm a guy over the age of 40. That's who I've decided to serve. And I know that there's plenty of guys over 40 who could use some help, who just need some guidance, some structure, some accountability, some pats on the back, quite honestly. And that's why I'm here. All right, so look, check out the free training. I'll post it in the comments, and or I'll post it somewhere around this video, and maybe we'll get a chance to chat. Have a great day.